Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to make this super sweet bow. I just love it. And we're going to show how to make the trucks all face the right direction. We're going to need our Bowdabra, some ribbon, and I actually picked up some of the Bowdabra wire after I watched all the videos when I was making my video on bow making. Before we get started, I wanted to show that there is a right side and a wrong side to the ribbon, even though it looks the same. On the right is the right side, and the left is the wrong side. And the reason that it matters is because the wire is typically on the wrong side, and if you just go back and forth with your loops, then sometimes that wire will show through. So, you know, it's such a small thing. I think most people aren't ever going to notice it, but I do notice it. And I wanted to show in this Dollar Tree ribbon that it does actually, you can see it a little more, that there's the right side, there's the wrong side, and you can see the wire. You have to look really close, and again, most people aren't going to notice, but it's something I notice. Now we're going to start with these yellow, and that's going to be our base loops, and they're going to be 5-inch loops, and I cut the ribbon at 22 inches so that we can have it folded over, and there will be a 1-inch overlap on each of them. So fold it here, and then fold the other side, and like I said, just a 1-inch overlap there. So that'll hold when you scrunch it all together. I'll have all the measurements in the description box and also a list of where I got all the ribbons. This particular one, the solid yellow, came from Michael's, and the yellow with polka dots also came from Michael's. The truck ribbon came from Hobby Lobby, and the teal ribbon came from Dollar Tree. I'll show another one of these. We cut at 22, and then fold it over, leaving a 1-inch overlap, and that way it just catches when you put your zip tie or pipe cleaner on it. And I did do a third loop, but I didn't make you watch the video for that. And I'm really not sure why I didn't do one long piece and go back and forth and turn it. I do that with this teal ribbon here, but I don't know why I did it with the yellow, or did not do it with the yellow. But right there I was showing you, you can see the wire. So that's why it matters. But here, just make your loop, and this one was a little bit smaller, just maybe 1/4 inch. Make your twist, and then fold it into there. Check your loop size, twist it, and then make another loop. And this was already cut off because I did do a practice run with the Bowdabra wire. And we'll just make our final loop there, and it's a little bit long, so I cut that little extra piece off. And I'm probably showing way more than I need to on this, but so many people struggle with bows. I hear it all the time. And so I really wanted to do something in-depth to show real time and kind of step by step, because again, we've talked about this before, that on videos it looks like things just go boom, 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 done, look how good I am. But that's not always the case. I mean, it can be a struggle in your craft room, and when you watch people who it doesn't seem like they're struggling, it's like, wait, why can't I get this right? And you're gonna see me struggle. Boy, I mess around with the fluffing of this bow a lot at the end because it's just driving me crazy. Primarily because I really did make the teal and the yellow polka dot loops a little too small. So I would say just make everything at 5 inches. So if you're not going to do the back and forth where you turn it, and you're just going to do the strips, cut all your strips at 22 inches. That way all your loops will be 5 inches. Then just cut that off, and right here's about when I realize I haven't put the Bowdabra wire in there. And that was the whole point of this whole thing, is to use the Bowdabra wire. So I thought that was really funny. So now I have to cut off some Bowdabra wire, and it's probably 20 inches long or so, and that's way more than you need. But you double it over so that, and you put in like 2 strands, and then we do kind of a slip knot at the end. I'll show you that. But yeah, it was very interesting. And then I do make another bow with just the truck ribbon, and I use a pipe cleaner. Because as fascinating as it was and intriguing to use it, I just don't think it's for me. I think I'll stick with zip ties from now on out. I did use the Bowdabra wire, and I gave it a shot, and I kind of like it. There's good things and bad things to it. It's really not wire. It's really more of like a cording, and so why they call it Bowdabra bow wire, I'm not sure. But this is how you keep your trucks right side up. You just fold it like I did the yellow ribbon earlier. Do a 1-inch overlap, and that way when you go to fluff your bows, they're on the right way. And we'll do one more of these. 22 inches, 1-inch overlaps, so you get your 5-inch bows. And a lot of times I'll talk about not wanting to cut the trucks in the middle of them or something, but in this case, because you're not going to see the ends of the ribbon, it doesn't matter where you cut it. And that ribbon was wanting to pop out, because all the other ribbon is wider, and so the little spring load in the Bowdabra was already pushed out, so it's like, no, I don't want to stay. And right here, you just pull up the sides, put the 2 end pieces through the loop, and then pull it real tight. It was really kind of neat. But it seems like I have to pull really, really tight, and a zip tie kind of does all the work for you. But then you just take the 2 ends, bring them on either side, then you'll set it down and make a double knot. And then when I add my tails, I just put another double knot on it. Yeah, it is real nice. It's real strong cording or wire. And then I think polka dots would be cute for my little center loop. I love polka dots. They're so spring and summer. And then I just crisscross it through that little loop and tie it again on the back. That's what's nice about the little wire is, it gives you something to work with as far as tying things in. I don't really like it for trying to hold it when I was fluffing the bow. That didn't work well. So I ended up putting a pipe cleaner in it anyway. So I start fluffing these out, and I've did this on the bow video I made, and you pull to one side and you pull to the other side, and if there's 3 loops, you pull one to one side, one to the other side, and leave the back one in the center. And that's what we'll do on the yellow bow. But like I said, this one was really giving me some hard time, so I had to pull quite a bit. Really, the problem is when you twist your ribbon, when you're going back and forth on your loops, it kind of scrunches it all together. And then on the truck ribbon and the yellow ribbon, by not twisting it, it didn't break down the fibers of the fabric so that it is easier to pull to one side or the other. There's just a lot of bulk in the center, and I think that's that, and then the loops were a little too small, so that's what gave me all this trouble. But you can always mess with it enough, because I think the end product turned out really nice. And also looking at this, I was like, I think we need another set of loops on that teal ribbon. So I ended up adding those in here in a minute. But first, I'm going to cut and add some tails. And I did, I think, 20 inches on the truck ribbon. Then I just did not as long on the yellow ribbon, just to give it some different dimension to it. And then ultimately I ended up adding some of the yellow polka dot tails, but not on video. I just ended up doing it when I was taking the picture, because when I took the picture I'm like, it needs yellow polka dot tails. And again, the measurements on the tails doesn't really matter. It kind of depends on your project and how long you want the tails. Now we're back to the point though where don't cut the middle of your truck. I mean, you can. It's your stuff. This would be a good time to say thank you so much for watching. And I hope you are picking up some tricks and tips that you can use on bow making. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments below. I'm still at a point in my channel that I can answer the comments myself. I'll be there for a while, I'm pretty sure. And it's been really fun talking with everybody and kind of building the community. And I am working on a Facebook page so that we can share pictures and ideas, because a lot of people were talking about going to make the wreath that had the camper on it and using that technique and stuff, and so I would love to see some of those pictures. And I just dovetailed those ribbons. Now I'm tying them in with that Bowdabra wire. I used quotation marks there, but you can't see me, because again, it's more of a cord than a wire. But back to the Facebook page, I think it would be a lot of fun to see everything. I'm on several communities, with YouTubers, and it really is a great place to go and get some inspiration and have questions answered and share techniques and share information. So that's really why I started the channel, is just trying to help people that might struggle with certain things. I try to really break it down step by step so that anybody can craft. And if you are inspired to, then by all means you should do it. You shouldn't be intimidated or feel that you can't, because really you can. And that's why we're here. To share and inspire and really get through these crazy times we're in. I've had several people make comments that they started crafting during the pandemic because it was just something they could do. I mean, there really wasn't a lot for us to do during that time, especially when it started. I'm in Texas and we're open now, but some people are still at home, and even if you're technically open, you still have to be cautious. So everybody be safe out there. And wow, that's something too. Everybody's been so sweet, because several people are like, be safe, and man, I just love to see that. And so guys, comment down in any of the videos and let's just kind of help each other get through this. And I'm just talking now because you can see I'm fluffing the bow, but that's where I finally went to my pipe cleaner so I can actually hold it better. And this is when I'm looking at it thinking, it needs another loop. 2 loops technically. When I say 3-loop bow, it's 3 loops on each side. Technically 6 loops. I kind of look at it as one big loop with something in the middle, squishing it together. But yeah, this one, I just thought in the middle of the yellow there, on the top and the bottom, so it really gave it a little more texture, a little more depth. And I did the exact same thing I did with all the yellow ribbon and the truck ribbon. Just put it together, 2 or 1-inch overlaps, and then tied it into that Bowdabra wire. Made all the difference, and like I say, I really ended up liking the way it turned out. But now I'm going to make a bow that's just the truck ribbon. And I wouldn't really normally make a bow with a repeating pattern like this and make multiple loops, because then it gets kind of boring to the eye to look at, which is why I made the bow with all the different colors. But I did want to do this one just to drive home the fact of keep the trucks the right direction. And I did speed this part up because it's the same process it's been. Find the center, make your loops, overlap an inch or so, and you just do that 3 times for this one. And then I'll add the tails again at the end. Like I say, a seasoned bow maker knows or can deal with all that ribbon and keep it all together. And I've watched some pretty impressive people, make them just lickety-split. But this really is a video for people who struggle with it, that maybe just need to see the step-by-step process and in real time for the most part. So if you're really, really good at bow making, you probably aren't in this video. So now I just cut off the tails and dovetail them. Find the center, scrunch it up, put it in my little pipe cleaner, and we are just about done. I think I've said it before. I could fluff the bows forever. And so I really, wanted to see them on something, and I didn't have a wreath available, so I just put them on this wreath frame. And that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again so much for watching, and maybe check out one of these other videos, and we'll catch you on the next one.